All right, we're back from Invention One Studios. I'm John Creemans, the doctor in today. Glad to have you along here as we continue on the Inventions and Gadgets channel. You know, over the last week, we've heard a lot about ransomware, a cyber attack that struck over 150 countries. People's computers were encrypted, and kind of like a brick, they couldn't be used until you paid some money or ransom to be able to get it back, and half those people never got it undone. I mean, it just was it's an absolute mess. So we wanted to find out a little bit more about it and find out about the WannaCry Ransomware, because I know you've heard about it. If you picked up a magazine, news, you're looking online, it's everywhere. Nile Nickel, a resident tech expert, is joining us today here on Tech Talk on the Inventions and Gadgets channel. And this has been an amazing attack.
It has been. You know, the ransomware has been around since about 1989, so this isn't new. But what's big about it is the size. And like you said, 150 countries.
That's a lot.
Literally hundreds of thousands of computers. Many people are now scrambling around. A company that I work with was hit by it, and I said, okay, no big deal, just install your backups. Guess what they didn't have?
Backups.
So,
oh, man.
There's a lot of things about it, but this is an NSA tool, and NSA knew this exploit for about 4 years before it became public. And when it became public, there was a mea culpa, and they told Microsoft about it, and then Microsoft took about a year to fix it. So, this was preventable, and that's what's got a lot of people frustrated, because it's wreaking havoc in a lot of situations.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that for a second. So wait a minute. So 1989, ransomware has been out since 1989. That was about the advent of the old style computers.
Yeah, it was passed on a floppy disk at that time.
Yeah, the 1088 processors. They were a whopping 0.5 megahertz in speed. Woo! It really was. I mean,
you're shocking me now.
Yeah, I mean, wow. It was
the
like
1088.
Yeah, and the VGA.
How about 8088?
Remember the purple and red and blue? They looked kind of like, the graphics were really, really awful.
That was monochrome.
So yeah. Many years ago. So now, you think that everybody's so digitally connected, and a lot of you that have computers, we are. The world is just a connected place now.
It
the
is.
internet is everywhere. I mean, what keeps a country like North Korea, where we're looking at from this particular attack, possibly? How do you solve that?
Gosh, you know what? There's a lot of people trying to figure that out right now. And until we do something that most people don't want to do on the internet, which means before I could connect to this worldwide connection, that I'm verified and my machine's verified. So if I release something, you'll know where it came from. Until we get to something like that, we're going to have problems like this that continue.
So where do these come from? I mean, how do they actually attack a computer? I mean, because I know there's more ransomware out there right now, right?
Yeah, there's not to shock people, there's about 50 more variants of this right now that are out there, all slightly different one from the other. So, how do people find this? They spend time trying to figure out what the vulnerabilities are in the operating systems, whether it's Windows, and Windows seems to have so many for a lot of reasons, but whether it's Windows, Linux, the Apple operating system, the Android operating system, whatever it may be, people actually look for sort of holes to get in and be able to exploit the system.
But there was a database. I mean, we heard about the large NSA database that went out on WikiLeaks.
Mm-hmm.
Is this part of that collective effort? I mean, our government was actually looking at and finding all these different security problems?
This was reported in the WikiLeaks release, but there was another NSA hack, and that NSA hack exposed this virus. In fact, the group that hacked the NSA bragged about it and released what they found from the NSA, and they found about 50 tools. Gosh, that's interesting that we've got about 50 variants of this right now, right?
Wow.
But they found 50 tools, and they released the code to all 50 tools on the internet. So anybody can pick it up.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to find those guys, though? Or whoever did it?
You absolutely would, because it's wreaking havoc.
Yeah, I mean,
it's literally costing us billions of dollars. The hard cost right now, they're saying is relatively limited, but the cost to businesses and their downtime and their time to patch systems and all of that is getting into the billions.
Yeah, didn't you have information you were sharing with me earlier about $150 million a year?
Well, that's what the average has been up until this year.
Wow.
But the thing is it's exploding in growth. We're looking at a growth curve. In fact, we've got a graphic up right now. Obviously, on the radio you can't see this, but you'll notice the yellow or orange color on there. Those are ransomware attacks. And if you look at all of the attacks, 100% of them, notice how ransomware is the majority of everything going on the internet.
But it almost stopped for a couple of years. Looked like 2011, 2012, we didn't see it. And all of a sudden, bam, it just came right back in 2014 and just started being a menace everywhere, right?
When we started to have more of the NSA tools that were released. Interestingly enough.
Are these all? Is this all going? Let's say perhaps from the WikiLeaks thing, or is it just that on the deep web people are putting these things out for everybody?
This is on the deep web. People are putting it out, and as they're putting it out, what you're finding that other people look at the vulnerability and they say, you know what, I see that, I think I could do better, and they create a variant of it.
Isn't that great?
So
everybody always wants to be the best, but in ransomware. So tell me about the how do I solve this? Because I've never had one. Thank God, I've never had a problem with that where my entire computer got encrypted. Now I'm probably gonna just jinx myself and actually do this. Does ransomware install itself from emails? Does it install it from a URL that I go to? I mean, how does it get on my computer?
I'll give you a simple answer.
Yeah.
Yes. Which means it could come from an email link. It could come from a pop-up. It could come from a URL that you visit, a website.
Yeah.
It could come from a number of places. It could come from a video that you happen to download and watch.
Yeah, I've been noticing, like, even on my email lately, I've been getting one that is specific. It actually comes from DocuSign. It looks like the DocuSign document. Everybody uses that on the internet, because it's easy. You can sign a document on your computer.
Sure.
And, that you can sign documents that way. Well, I keep getting one. It's from different names. It looks like a DocuSign document thing.
They cut and paste the whole thing.
You have to you just have to click it. You go, I'm not doing that. Because what I do, I'll leave it, the email, I don't even open it. Mm-hmm. Don't even click it so that it goes into a big preview. It's always just right there, and I can actually, you just hover above the name of who it's from, and you can see that it's not DocuSign.
Yeah.
Or you see that it's something else, right? You
or
see that
it's something close to DocuSign.
Or DocuSign.nz.br, blah, 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 dash, dash, dash.
Or docket sign, or dot sign, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Wipe it out, delete it as fast as you possibly can.
So you ask what to do, and you know what? I've got some tips that I want to share with people, because there's absolutely positively some things that you should be doing. One is you should keep your software updated. As a matter of fact, this whole WannaCry ransomware, if you'd kept your Microsoft Windows, whichever version you were running, updated, you didn't have the vulnerability.
Yeah, thank God for Windows.
Well,
yeah, I'm not a Windows
if you
fan.
didn't have Windows, you didn't have the vulnerability either.
Yeah,
but nevertheless,
nice?
Keep your software updated.
Okay.
The next thing is make sure you're using a reputable antivirus software that includes a firewall.
Okay.
Most of them do now. And there's a number of them. We're not going to plug one over the other. Just find one that you like, look at the reviews, and use it.
Which one do you use?
I actually use a number of different ones, which I'll
come
remain
on,
nameless.
No, I want to know. I mean, if you're using it, I want to use it.
I don't use Norton, and I'll tell you why I don't use Norton. Norton's not bad, but the thing about Norton is it's the biggest and oldest, and it becomes the biggest target for people to hack beyond.
Oh, because it's just for fame.
It's for fame.
I broke Norton, that kind of thing.
So,
okay, I can
anyway,
see that.
Look and pick one. Back up often. And make sure that when you do your backups, you're not keeping the backups on the same machine. So many people back up on the local machine, or they attach a hard drive to the machine itself, and they back up to that hard drive that's attached to the machine.
But so what would you do? Just back it up to another hard drive and then never connect it?
And then disconnect it.
All right.
You could use get 4 hard drives to do your backups. They're cheap today. Yeah. And so if you do that, what you're going to find is it's cost effective, and in the event that your computer is corrupted, it won't corrupt that backup that's attached to the computer at the same time.
So what do I do if I find that there's some ransomware? I find something kind of odd and peculiar. Do I call the authorities? Do I report it? Do I just delete it and hope to God it never happens again?
Well, the thing that you really want to do is you first off disconnect your machine from the internet.
Okay.
unplug that internet connection. Don't turn it off. And then do two things. If you don't know how to deal with the ransomware, most people won't, get your computer guy in there that should know what and how to deal with it.
Okay.
The next thing is call the FBI. Believe it or not, they want to hear about this. Local police departments are not equipped to handle this. The FBI is,
Okay.
and the FBI wants to hear about it. It's the way that they track this. They get more information. They find the variants, and they want to hear about it. So you absolutely want to do those things.
Okay, so there are going to be some people that are going to open their emails. They're going to find out they have to pay, some certain kind of money. So I know they're doing this digital currency like Bitcoin or all these other ones out there. Do you really have to pay it?
Well, most security professionals recommend you don't. But I can tell you, if you've got a gamble that says I pay $300 or $500 and I get my data back, versus I've got to go through this recovery, some people will take that gamble.
But a regular computer user, like me or Zach or Tony or Al, who's still using his tablet, Stone tablet.
It's not hackable, though.
Yeah, it's not hackable. Well, it can be if you bust it. So we shouldn't have to. We wouldn't pay it.
No, absolutely.
Because we don't
not.
have the kind of data that these bigger companies like FedEx and some of these other ones, right?
Yeah, and companies have paid it.
Wow. That's a lot.
Again, you're taking a gamble. They say that you risk the gamble of it escalating, but sometimes you feel like that's a gamble worth taking.
Hey, are you going to talk about this more on your Facebook?
I absolutely will. I'll have some of the tools and some things like that. So they can go to Top Technology Tips right here on Facebook.
Okay.
Or toptechnologytips.com.
So Top Technology Tips on Facebook. Check him out. Nile Nickel, resident expert here today on My Cool Inventions and also on our Tech Talk segment here on Inventions and Gadgets channel. Watch out. Don't open that email. Who knows what could be lurking inside it.